Greetings Ravens, FiOth here, and in this vid I will be presenting to you my Panzer Dragoon themed build for Armor Core 6. The mech here, the AC, was designed so it will look as much like laggy as possible, also sporting a lot of laser weaponry and still being viable to be used in gameplay both in PvE and PvP. It sports everything you would expect, like reverse joint legs, mobility, laser weaponry, explosives that tie into Panzer Dragoon Saga's explosive attacks and all that good stuff. Let me know what you think and let's optimize together. Enjoy the breakdown, and by the end you can have the code for the PlayStation version. Let's take a look at what we're using and why we are using it. For this build I'm trying to keep it thematic, so I went for a specific approach to the weaponry and the design, of course. I ended up using an explosive weapon as an added benefit to our arsenal, but since in Panzer Dragoon Saga Laggy actually uses explosive attacks, I think it's pretty thematic. So, right arm we're using the laser shotgun VP66LS energy weapon. The charge attack is devastating and causes a good area of effect, and of course the base damage is very good. For the right arm we're using the laser blade VVC77OLB. You can go for the base blade as well, but you cannot go for moonlight or something that's more demanding because of energy restrictions. I did what I could, but I couldn't optimize any further. What you can do is change your shoulder weapons that are energy based in order to incorporate a stronger blade. Nothing is set in stone, we can always optimize, and I'd like to hear your suggestions in the comment section below. For our right shoulder I have a Songbird. Do you remember Flame Sphere from Panzer Dragoon Saga? Well, this is pretty much it. If you want some explosive damage, this will serve you well. It's very potent, as you all know, and it is an explosive weapon to boot, which has its benefits inherently. For the left back unit, we're using the laser drone VVC700LD, or is it 700LD? No idea, doesn't matter. Energy weapon firing small drones that will encircle the target and zap him with moderate firepower. This is quite good. It doesn't cause a lot of stagger and you cannot use it too many times, but it is very thematic and it is disruptive enough for it to warrant a place in PvE and PvP. Now for our head we're using Ephemera. There are a couple of reasons for it. Its overall stats are quite healthy and it also sports a horn. We need a horn if we're gonna make a Panzer Dragoon themed AC, so this is great. For chest we're using the Nachtreiter 40E. I don't know how it's pronounced, it's probably German. Sorry people for butchering this. Made by Schneider. Very good stats. It's not the most resilient one, but it is quite light and its EN load is not that crazy. Doesn't restrict our movement too much. This is a reverse joint AC. We need the QB reload time to be as slow as possible, and as you can see here, it is at 0.38, pretty much non-existent. Right arm and left arm consist of the ELTA-10 Firmezza. This is the ideal one for this build for a couple of reasons. First, the firearm specialization is 122, very solid, and the melee specialization 110, also very solid. Because we're using an energy blade, we want both of these to be at a good rate, so this is excellent. Now, what makes this whole thing work is the availability of the RC2000 Spring Chicken, made by Rad. This is the bulkiest, most resilient and weight capable pair of reverse joint legs in the game. And because we're using a Panzer Dragoon themed build, we want big, thick legs to resemble a dragon. So these are excellent, very good stats overall, both defensively and mobility wise, and they're readily available. You can get them from the shop. We get gills as our booster. I made a video on how to get gills. This is pretty much the fastest QB reload time booster in the game. You can jump left and right with this very effectively, so this is what we're using. For FCS or CPU, basically, we're using the G2P05. You can see it here, it's not very power hungry, it is very good for medium range assist and kinda good for close range assist. So medium range, pretty much all our firearms, and close range will also benefit for our blade. Very good. Now for the generator, we need the IBC03G NGI 000. This I think you get by completing new game. So we have to use this build in New Game Plus unless we make alterations to the EN load, because this is the generator that offers the highest EN capacity in the game. As you can see, EN capacity and EN output are pretty much maxed. So you need this, or you gotta go for the next best thing, or swap some of the energy weaponry to be able to utilize this. As I stand in my OS right now, I also added terminal armor to the mix. Terminal armor is a very good expansion because it allows you to pretty much take a final hit, being vulnerable for 2 seconds, and then of course if you hit again will be destroyed. But I have survived a ton of fights with this and I highly recommend it. Now let's go to the OS. By the time you finish your new game, you will be able to unlock boost kick and quick turn, terminal armor, explosive and energy weapons up to +9%. So them being maxed here is because I went into New Game Plus arena. You won't have this by the end of your initial playthrough, but a couple of arena matches afterward you'll be able to have it maxed. Direct hit modifier maxed, and damage control will be repair kits at max and ACS at maxed. If you're only gonna play PvP, you can take out the repair kits pretty much and focus on optimizing other fields. I'm gonna show you the paint job, so you can pause and do exactly what I did here. For weapons, it's all the same. We're gonna start with the head. Just snapshot what you need and replicate it. All my material is at 14 and the colors you can just snap from here. For the firearms, it's very easy to replicate, it's all the same. And of course, it goes without question that it's just colors. You don't need to have exactly what I do. I don't know if you noticed, but I added a bit of added flair on the helmet. It is the shark jaw. So you just go into custom decals and stretch this thing to fit the entirety of the lowest part of the AC. That's how I placed it, because Lag is a dragon and he has teeth. So this is pretty much it, guys. It will also be uploaded for PlayStation users, so you can just grab my code and replicate the entire thing without having to add or tinker with anything. And of course, if you have any suggestions about this, drop them in the comment section below and we can keep optimizing further. I don't think this is the strongest AC I've ever made, but it is very thematic. Panzer Dragoon Saga is my favorite game of all time, so there you have it. Until next time, be well, stay frosty, and always strive for perfection. Cheers!